years go back, way back.
This is the Going Way Back show with Money B, your home for classic hip hop, raw and uncut. Sponsored by dumerch.com and 9teeshiphop.com, where you can get your officially licensed digital underground merchandise and 90s classic hip hop artist merchandise as well. Please check info box below for links to buy merchandise. We got a great show this week. We're going to talk about the massive battle between Teddy Riley and Babyface. We'll also get into the whole Michael Jordan documentary that started over the weekend. I'm going to talk about a classic artist that got down on his IG Live over the weekend, as well as this week's IG Live interview guests. But before we do any of that, let's do it like we always do. Here's the old school new news with Ton Teasy. It's the old school new news with Ton Teasy.
Hi, this is Ton Teasy with the old school new news. I hope this finds you safe and well. Let's start this off with the birthday shoutouts. Happy birthday to Killer Mike, he's turning 45. DJ Drama, turning 41. Machine Gun Kelly is turning 29. And do you guys remember the beef with Eminem? Who do you think won that battle? Little Eazy-E is turning 35. And here's a fun fact. He's a fellow 49er fan. Bang Bang Niner Gang. Group members from our Bay Area zone. Souls of Mischief. Tajay is turning 44. Opio is turning 45. Happy birthday, guys. In hip-hop history this week, April 19th, Mike Jones released his debut album, Who is Mike Jones, 14 years ago. On the same day, 10 years ago, marks the anniversary of Guru's death. Rest in peace. 26 years ago, Nas released his debut album, Illmatic. In quarantine news, Queen Latifah will portray Oscar winner Hattie McDaniel in a Netflix series called Hollywood. Miss Maddie McDaniel was an actress, singer, songwriter, and comedian. She's best known for playing the role Mammy in Gone with the Wind. She was the first Black person to win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. This limited series will air in May. Over at Rock Nation, Jay-Z partnership with Live Nation is furloughing employees and issuing pay cuts between 10% and 20% range. And this comes after Jay donated several $1 million to COVID-19 relief funds. This pay cut will extend across all Rock Nation's departments, including Tidal. Last week, I was excited to report about Babyface and Teddy Riley's battle, and so were 400,000 others, which is an Instagram record. Unfortunately, it was a fail. Money B and I got dressed in our quarantine outfits and was ready for the show. Teddy got ready like he was performing at the Grammys. He had a hype man, DJ, and a whole production crew. Due to sound issues, Teddy had to stop. He was actually doing a live feed on his own website that caused the sound to echo through the Instagram feed. Since Teddy couldn't get it together, they decided to postpone the battle. If I had to choose who won, I say the memes on the internet won. Toni Braxton was live tweeting, and she said, "This is like watching old folks use jitterbug phones." Lil Duval pleaded with Teddy to stop performing and just play the music from his iPhone. Charlemagne posted a meme with two old men. Luckily, D-Nice saved the day over at Club Quarantine, where he played their hits. And this is Ton Teasy with the old school new news on the Going Way Back show with my man, Money B. You can follow me on all socials at Ton Teasy. That's TON_TEEZY.
Now let's get right into what everybody has been talking about over the weekend. By now, you've probably seen the actual battle take place, but the original attempt on Saturday night was an epic fail. I'm not going to hold it against either of the guys, especially Teddy Riley, because he was trying to run the feed through his website, and we have to be very fair to all of the artists, even including myself. The technology is trying to catch up with what we're doing and what's going on, and everybody trying to take full advantage of, you know, these live feeds that we're able to do. So I'm sure that eventually someone's going to come up with the perfect technology that allows you to plug right into your phone, into your system, to be able to interact, which means go live with someone and everything to sound real good. So I'm gonna be patient on that end. But the twist I wanna go to is to focus mainly on the classic hip hop aspect of the battle. If everybody didn't know, Teddy Riley was instrumental in a lot of classic hip hop. For one, he produced The Show by Dougie Fresh. He also produced Go See the Doctor, and I believe he did Do You Know What Time It Is on Kumo D's first solo album. A lot of people didn't know that. You know, of course, he had Rex and the Fed, the No Diggity record with Dr. Dre, I Get the Job Done with Big Daddy Kane. You know, so Teddy's been putting it down on the hip hop side for a long time. Babyface, not so much. I think his credit to hip hop might be a little more of the sampling aspect, but what I do want to give Babyface credit for is he had his hand in the development and the success of two very, very respected and classic hip hop artists, and that would be Outkast and Goody Mob. That's because both of those acts were originally signed to Babyface's LaFace Records. You know, he had TLC, he did some Bobby Brown stuff, but you know, if we want to go catalog list for list, I think Babyface might trump Teddy Riley. But when it comes to producing the hip hop, which is what we care about, I don't know. You tell me what you think. Moving on to one of the acts that I just mentioned, my man Big Daddy Kane got on his IG Live this weekend and put on a show. I mean, he did a full-on concert. He had a DJ, social distancing, you know, at the proper length. And he set up a mic. I probably had a room in his house or whatever he did, but he set it up and he just got down for like, I don't know, maybe an hour or so and just ran through the hits. My favorite part of the whole thing was when he brought his son out and did a little hype man. He did, yeah, Kane. I forget what song it was, but then he broke down and started doing a little break dancing. It was dope. If you didn't get a chance to see it live or see it in his story, I'm pretty sure it's posted somewhere, but that was definitely a moment, probably my favorite moment of the weekend. Another quality view over the weekend was the Unsung for Goody Mob. Like I just mentioned before, Goody Mob was signed to LaFace Records. I believe they came on the scene right around 93, 94. Gotta do my fact checks. But, you know, their career, they had a nice run of about 6 or 7 years where they were just coming with hits. And Goody Mob actually had the record that coined the phrase Dirty South. What you niggas know about the Dirty South? Which, you know, is still used today. So props to Goody Mob. It was an excellent doc. If you never watched Unsung, go check that out on TV One. But the Goody Mob was dope. So please check that out. Another show that had everybody buzzing over the weekend was Michael Jordan's documentary, The Last Dance, which chronicled the Chicago Bulls' last championship season of 1998. It's amazing that Michael Jordan, even though he hasn't played meaningful NBA basketball in over 20 years, he still has the highest selling tennis shoe over LeBron or anybody. And we constantly reference our J's in hip hop music. So Michael Jordan is just as relevant today as he was when he played over 20 years ago. I will be checking that documentary out as well, but I'm really excited for the NFL draft this Thursday. Let's move on to this week's IG Live interview guest. It will be none other than Kwame. Kwame, good friend of mine. We actually toured together. We did a few tours, I think 2 Public Enemy tours. I'm sure when I talk to him, he'll refresh my memory on which tours it was. Kwame kind of rose to fame and he had his hit Only You on his first solo album, but a lot of people don't know he went on to have greater success as a producer. So we'll get into some of the records that he produced. You'll be surprised to know some of the hits that you love were actually produced by Kwame. Kwame has actually been getting busy himself He does a thing called the One Song Classic Hip Hop Breakfast Jam, which he goes live, starting at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and usually runs till about 1 p.m. And he has classic artists just jump in and do one song. This week, he had Biz Markie, Big Daddy Kane, Raz Kaz, who else did he have? Dougie Fresh. I mean, it was live. You know what I'm saying? So when you get a chance, please check out Kwame's Classic Hip Hop One Song Breakfast Jam. I think he does it like every other week, but just follow Kwame Vision on Instagram to get that information. Once again, this is the Going Way Back Show, your home for classic hip hop, raw and uncut, sponsored by dumerch.com and 9tshiphop.com, where you can get your officially licensed digital underground and classic hip hop artist merchandise. Check the info box, click that link to buy the merchandise. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click the bell so you can get notifications for the show. Until next week, people, be easy.
It's the Goin Way Back Show with Money B, classic hip hop, raw and uncut.